The Catherine Coleman Literary Arts, Food and Justice Summer Program connects with everything that the Footprint Farms represents, and that's why we brought them out today. When Kiese Lehman created the summer program for high school students, he wanted to make the connection between literature, literary arts, but also food and justice. And so coming out here today just kind of helps contextualize everything that we're trying to do, trying to get them to think about the ways in which they create art, the ways that in which the food can be cultivated, resonated with some of the kids, being able to connect the dots, because we want them when they write, whether it's through their poetry or their fiction, in their screenplays, or even creative nonfiction, be able to incorporate something of that theme, but also give some resilience and hope and those kind of things at the end, because again, that's also Footprint Farms, right? It's out here in West Jackson making a difference in growing food, preparing foods, inviting the community to come, even offering some instruction on food preparation, so we might think about how we can eat differently, how we can consume differently. I guess in our way, we're starting with them young and hope to plant some seeds.
So my name is Michelle Wheatley. A little bit about myself. I am basically from the Mississippi Delta, born and raised, currently getting my PhD at Mississippi State in agriculture science and extension education. I focus more so on food insecurity and ways to get people access to healthy foods in rural and urban areas. What I do here at Footprint Farms, a little bit of everything, but specifically today what I'll be doing is pretty much giving you guys the intersection of what farming does and what it looks like when you're talking about it from a social justice perspective, right? Because what most people think about when they think about agriculture and they think about farming, they think about, unfortunately, especially people of color, we think about slavery. We think about what it looked like, you know, years ago when it relates to being out there and doing the hard work. And so as time is progressing, people are becoming a little bit more health conscious, and people are now getting back to the soil and figuring out ways to eat healthy. So Dr. Cindy Ayers Elliott, who is the owner of Footprint Farms, she basically worked on Wall Street for some time and came back to Mississippi. And she wanted to figure out a way to create a farm and put it in the Jackson area, in an urban area where this is the less likely place that you'll find some farming or some agriculture. And one of her main reasonings for doing that is to give people of color access to good, healthy foods. Somewhere where people can have a social-based justice setting, where we can have these real conversations, and where we can also get ways to eat healthy and, you know, figure out ways how to learn to prepare our own foods, and not just that, but how to grow our foods. When we think about urban farming in the setting of which that we do, we try to figure out a way to collaborate all of what you're talking about, like the actual work, the hard labor, but also engaging and introducing urban farming from a health perspective. That's what we think about when we think about urban farming in our setting. We're talking about giving people the education that they need to learn what it looks like to do urban farming, the actual hard work, but also from a space of eating healthy. So that's where culinary art and all that comes into play when you're talking about urban farming. It is farming in general, but when you think about Mississippi as a whole, right, you see a lot of soybeans and cotton fields, and that is basically used for other forms of farming. But when you're talking about urban farming, especially Black people in dealing with farming, we're trying to address issues where we're talking about eating healthy. Because one of the things that this state suffers with is obesity, diabetes, and health issues, right? That's like a really key thing that we suffer with and we deal with here. And so we try to figure out ways to try to like give people like ways to grow their food in their homes, but also giving them nutritional manners and ways that they can, you know, produce those foods and things of that nature. We have people who are accustomed to eating a certain way, and they can get access to fast food a lot quicker than they can get with coming here. And that's a really big issue that we face with here in Mississippi and in these urban areas. We are in this area here, even though we have a farm here, but this is considered a food desert. And what a food desert is any time that you can get access to fast food a lot quicker than you can get to a grocery store or what have you. So for instance, I can give you an example of that. For instance, you have a Kroger, a Walmart, and you have a Whole Foods in Jackson. But if you look at how big Jackson is and how far it takes someone who lives in West Jackson to get to that Walmart or that Whole Foods, it's crazy. But you will see 3 or 4 fast food restaurants within a neighborhood distance. And so that is cheaper when people are having economic issues, but they're also able to get access to their food a whole lot quicker. You get what I'm saying? And so that's one of the things that we really, really try to bring to the forefront, because you don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? And especially when it comes to that. And I think that's critical among us not having the education. And when we think about agriculture and thinking about farming, we think about, well, I got to be vegan. No, you don't. You don't have to necessarily be vegan. But what you want to do is you want to take what it is that you have among you, which is right here in this farm right here that's located in the west part of Jackson where people can get to and access. You want to come out, get the education and figure out, okay, how to properly prepare food so that you can able, to not have to necessarily do those things.
Today we are feeding the Catherine Coleman Institute. It is a summer camp for high school kids. So today on the farm, they had some farming education, they've had some farming instruction, and now they're having a farm-to-table lunch. Everything that they're eating that's a vegetable came from the farm. We don't use any fertilizer on our farm. We're an urban farm right here in the middle of West Jackson, Footprint Farms.
These are bell pepper plants. This is what every time you eat a bell pepper on a pizza or in a salad or a stuffed bell pepper out of the oven, this is the plant that it comes from. You can actually see on these, when you see them, you'll see some are flowers, some have little fruit on them. This is the tag that tells you what it is. This tag tells you that this is orange blaze sweet pepper bell. Full sun, matures in 60 to 75 days. Fruit size is 3 to 4 inches by 1.5 inches. Disease-resistant plant provides lots of sweet peppers early in the season. Brilliant orange fruit when mature is excellent for eating fresh or adding color to salads. Ideal for stuffing. Best in fertile soil, well-drained soil, and keep evenly moist. I read all that just to tell you that you're never alone with this stuff. Nowadays, with the internet and stuff, you can Google and search all this stuff, and you can watch videos on how to grow this stuff. That's kind of why I like this flat, because see these nice dark green pepper plants here? They got good fertilizer. These ones over here, not so much. They didn't eat well. Just like you and me, plants need food, and we got to keep them fed. The soil that we're going to use today is not soil. It's called potting mix. There's actually no field soil in it at all. You never want to use field soil in a pot, because it doesn't drain right in a pot. There's too many walls and the water doesn't move right. So trust me on that. I can go deeper into it if you guys got questions about it. But bottom line is, back in the 1960s, they invented all these really cool potting soils that are basically based on peat moss or coconut husk. Coconut husk, they call it coir, C-O-I-R, and it works a lot like peat moss and is more renewable than peat moss. Peat moss, they mine out of the soil. It takes 100,000 years to make an inch of peat moss. Coconut takes 10 years to grow a coconut palm. So we can have coconut palms for the rest of our lives. But there's no soil in that. But look at all those lovely roots. Look at those roots. Look at that. And you guys will see all this real soon. Look at those roots growing in there. So all those roots, the only way the plant can get nutrients is through these roots, or a little bit through the leaves, but not so much through the leaves. But 99% of their nutrients and water are going to come through those roots. So we got to keep the roots healthy. The roots need soil for support to hold up the plant, right? They need water to keep the plant hydrated, like you guys are drinking water now. And they need food. There's about 18 or so elements that plants need. What I want to do is I want to get you guys all up to this table, but I want you each to be able to take home one of these pepper plants. All I ask is that you plant it yourself. All you have to do is water it when the soil is dry down to your first knuckle. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go, and I'm going to fill the pot for you, and I'm going to do you one here. So you got this little pot here, right? So I'm going to fill it up. I'm not going to pack it down, because the soil is designed by the engineers, right? This is ag engineering that did all this soil design here, right? So agriculture is not just growing plants or running a combine or whatever. It's everything. It's designing these soils. It's designing these pots. These holes in the pots are very specifically designed. And all of that. And all you're gonna do is you take one of these out of here. I grab it, notice I grabbed it by the base of the stem. I don't grab by the leaf, I don't grab it by the upper part, but by the base of the stem. I'm gonna stick 3 or 4 fingers in the ground, in the soil that mixed there, and push that down in there. Cover it a little bit, like with just a 1/4 or 1/2 inch of this mix, and I'm done. And all I gotta do is water it a little bit. That's it. So I left a little bit of stuff here so you can water it and it won't spill all over your countertop or your patio or whatever. So you water it just a little bit. But when the soil is dry down here, when you don't feel any moisture down to your first knuckle or so, that's when you need to water it again. And actually you'll get a feel for it by the weight of it. You can feel this one. I'll let you guys pass this around. This one needs water. You can just tell by the weight. And I'll show you what it feels like. Who's first? Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute. There's gotta be someone, gotta be one of these 3 because they're right here. Okay. So just fill that up. Just fill that up about just a little above that rim there. Okay. So someone else can start another one there. Look at these little tiny little marble-like things in there. That's fertilizer inside of there that's going to slowly release for the first month. Can you squeeze that? Yeah. Yeah, it's got liquid inside of it. So someone can start one right there. Just rub your fingers in it, it'll be fine. So someone can start one right there if you want. So as soon as you're done with your plant, walk away and we'll do the watering a little later. Take it back to your desk and we'll do that a little bit later. There you go. There you go.
She's already got.
I'll tell you a secret, the ones without the fruit are gonna make more fruit than the ones with the fruit. That's because they're already stressed. Growing fruit is like growing a baby, it's stressful.
It's all her fruit.
Yeah.
So like, do you have to get a new one once like you like pick this?
Yeah, you pick that. You'll pick that one, and then more fruit and flowers will come.
Oh, they'll keep coming. Okay.
Yeah, they'll keep coming for a couple months. Yeah, so fill that up a little more. There you go. Try that. Yeah. Fill that up a little bit more. We can go right up to that, right up so we can't see that line anymore. There we go. Now dig your hole and plant your plant. There you go. Have you guys ever done it? Has anyone ever done anything like this before? No?
I've done flowers.
Anyone have any parents or grandparents that have gardens?
My great-grandma. Oh, my grandma has like flower garden. Yeah.
Awesome. So there's lots of help with this online.
I'm scared. What is this?
Oh, now. Bugs are fun.
That's a new saying. Now.
Is this good?
Yeah, believe it or not, the ones that are yellowish, they're going to green up from the fertilizer that's in the soil. There's already fertilizer in this new soil, but you can have a greener one if you want a greener one. There you go. Yep. So, absolutely. You are very welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. You guys can have any plant you want. Now, this one is a different. Notice that the darker ones here, actually, we have something else that's going on here. The darker ones are actually a purple fruited pepper called Purple Beauty.
What does it taste like?
So they all taste like bell peppers, like sweet peppers. They're all just green peppers and the purple peppers all taste the same. So there you go. So you want a tag? You can have a tag.
I want the tags.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to take a tag. Should I get one without fruit on it, or is
Yeah. They'll actually be better for you if you use one without fruit first. You'll have more fruit later. Yep, and just grab by the base. You can't hurt it too much and get it out of there. Just give it a good tug. All the way up so you can't see the line anymore, but not all the way up to the top. There you go, something like that. There you go. All right, you folks are doing great. Yep, let's get a little more soil in there, and let's make sure that it's covered up by this soil. And we want to cover it up by that soil. There you go. There you go. Now that'll grow nice. Okay. There you go. All right. That looks great. Very good. That looks good. I throw just a little more soil so we can't see that line. Just want to get it so you can't see the line. Keep going there, guy. Let's get it so we can't see that line. Almost to the top, but not quite. There you go. Now you can plant your pepper. Just stab 3 fingers in the center, pull your fingers off to the side, stick this in, and you're good. Unless you want one of these. Want one of these? There you go. There you go. What's what?
the rest of them over there. They're all the same thing? Yeah.
So I got orange ones and purple ones.
I'll call the purple.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
Stick 3 fingers in here, pull it off to the side, and then stick your plant in the hole. Okay, so you're just gonna go like that, stick that right in, now stick the plant right in there. Now we're gonna cover the top of that with this soil, pack it down slightly, and just push it down very slightly. And then take that back to your desk, and you're good to go, and I'll bring the watering can around a little bit. Stick 3 fingers in the center and pull it to the side a little bit. Just stick them right down in and pull off to the side. Pull off to the side a little bit. You're making room for that root ball. And then stick that root ball in there. Cover the top of the root ball with some of this soil. Mash it down in there real good. Press it down around that a little bit. There you go. You are done. Take that back to your desk. I'll bring the water around a little bit.
Hey, I'm Emily. This is my plant. Her name is Lydia.
Hey, my name is Anaya. This is Olivia.
Every time we water, we want to take it to the sink or something, or leave it out where we can get water coming out the bottom. Water it slowly until water starts coming out the bottom.
Okay. First you get a pot. Oh, that tickles. Okay, so now, okay, so I'm gonna let you come over here. And you're gonna scoop, we can put this right here. You're gonna scoop soil into there until it covers this line, but not too much. And you don't want to pat it down either, because I heard that was bad. But just until, you can shake it, but you just can't like pat it down, you know?
Okay. No patting. Looks like I need a little bit more. Is that too much?
You can take
some?
just like a tiny scoop. Yeah, like that. That's great. Ew, that's that. Now we're gonna take this one, or you can pick one from there, I believe. And you grab from the base. Right there, yes ma'am. And oh wait, sorry, I forgot a step. Let's set that right here. Oopsie daisy. You have to dig, like you can use like 2 or 3 fingers to dig in the middle to make space for it.
How far down do I dig?
You could dig to the bottom so it can fit like down.
Not quite to the bottom because it needs dirt under.
Right.
Okay, how's that? Is that good?
Yes, ma'am, that's great. And now you grab it from the base and now you put it there. And then you're just going to cover it back.
Pat that down or just leave it?
That's great right there. You want to keep this right here? Yep, okay. And now you just cover the top, but just cover it right there. Don't cover too much of it.
Don't cover that part?
You can cover that part, but like I'm saying, like don't cover too much of the base, the stem base, you know?
How's that?
That's great. And now you can cover some more right here.